Okay, let's unpack this. What you just heard is a quick snapshot of the headlines, but here on the deep dive, our mission is really to pull apart those brief items.
Yeah, find the hidden connections.
Exactly, and uncover the why it matters behind the what happened. So today we're taking this daily news briefing and, extracting the most important nuggets of knowledge.
The goal being to help you become truly well-informed.
Yeah, without feeling overwhelmed by that constant flood of information.
It's truly compelling, isn't it? How seemingly isolated global events, when you look closely, actually weave together.
They form a much clearer
A
picture.
more intricate picture of our world, yeah.
Uh,
We're going beyond just the immediate headlines to understand the broader context, the
Through
implications,
those big global summits.
right down to, local human impact initiatives. And the key question for us, and for you listening, is how do we effectively filter through the sheer volume of daily information?
How do we grasp what's really significant and actionable? Okay, let's jump right into the geopolitical chessboard then, and those shifting economic sands. First up, we heard about India's Defense Minister Rajnath Singh speaking at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit.
Mm-hmm.
He delivered a really strong condemnation of terrorism, specifically citing that 2025 terror attack in Pune, and called for urgent global action.
Right. And this isn't just about, reacting to a single tragic incident.
Yeah.
India's firm stance here signals, I think, a strategic shift.
Solidifying its position.
Definitely. And potentially galvanizing a more unified front against non-state actors within the SKO. That kind of explicit naming, backed by a major power, well, it could really redefine regional security ties.
Alliances, intelligence sharing.
Exactly. In the near future.
Okay, moving over to Europe now, the NATO summit in The Hague, described as transformational.
That's a strong word.
It is. There's clearly a renewed push for, well, even stronger defense commitments from member nations. It sounds like quite a significant moment for the alliance.
Indeed. And the persistent pressure for increased defense spending within NATO, it isn't just about budget lines. No, it's about rebalancing shared responsibilities, modernizing capabilities against evolving threats. What's particularly telling is how this drives conversations back home.
In the member states themselves.
Right. About economic priorities, strategic autonomy, especially now in such a volatile global climate. It signifies, I think, a deeper commitment to collective deterrence.
And speaking of that global climate, we heard Ukraine reported heavy Russian losses in Donetsk, which seems to indicate a strengthening of its eastern front.
Yeah, the specific detail from the Eastern Front is crucial. Donetsk remains absolutely pivotal strategically for both sides.
So heavy losses there, I mean.
Well, it suggests really intense attrition warfare, certainly, but it also highlights Ukraine's defensive capabilities in those key areas. For the conflict's broader path, sustained gains or losses there could dictate the pace, maybe the focus of future offensives.
Impacting supply lines, morale.
All of it, significantly.
Okay, shifting gears slightly, let's look at the global economy. We saw gold prices drop quite a bit.
Yeah, significantly.
Down to 98,940 per 10 grams in Delhi. And this fall was attributed to a Middle East ceasefire boosting markets.
That's the connection being made, yes. The Sensex, India's benchmark index, was even up 500 points.
So that immediate market reaction.
It's a classic illustration, really. It shows how quickly investor sentiment responds to perceived geopolitical stability.
Right. The perception is key.
Exactly. When tensions seem to ease, money tends to flow out of those traditional safe havens, like gold.
And into riskier growth-oriented investments.
Which is what we see reflected in the Sensex rising. It's a powerful reminder of how interconnected global events and investment strategies truly are.
And here's a detail that, well, it really resonated with me regarding the global supply chain. We're seeing China's construction sector slowing down.
That's significant.
And it's raising concerns about global steel prices.
This is a prime example of that ripple effect we talk about. It touches way more than just raw materials.
How so?
Well, a slowdown in China's huge construction sector doesn't just impact steel production. It can depress demand for, well, almost everything. Heavy machinery, industrial equipment, even shipping and logistics services worldwide.
Because China's demand is so massive.
Precisely. Given China's share of global demand for these commodities, this could signal a cooling effect on global inflation, perhaps. Or, conversely, a downturn for industries that really rely on Chinese consumption.
Okay, let's transition now from global economics to Tech, innovation, infrastructure, and how these things impact our everyday lives, a pretty significant milestone was announced.
The space mission.
Yes, Shubhanshu Shukla from India aboard Axiom 4 conducting experiments on the ISS.
Yeah, and this isn't just, a proud moment for India, though it certainly is that. It really embodies this growing shift toward,
Private sector involvement.
yes, and international collaboration in space. Shubhanshu's experiments up there, they could yield breakthroughs in advanced materials, maybe pharmaceuticals.
Understanding long-duration spaceflight.
Right, with potential implications for everything from new medical treatments down the line to, well, maybe future lunar bases. Stuff that benefits us right here on Earth.
Okay, on a more grounding note maybe for travel. An Air India crash probe has led to 15 Boeing 787-8s being grounded.
Due to software flaws, yes.
Prioritizing safety, obviously.
Well, it has to be the priority. This development really underscores that continuous critical interplay between cutting-edge tech and stringent safety protocols in aviation.
Grounding a whole fleet, that's a big step.
It is. Even temporarily, it highlights the industry's absolute commitment to passenger safety and the thoroughness of these investigations. It reminds us that even with these incredibly sophisticated aircraft, software integrity is just paramount.
Any flaw can have huge consequences.
Massive consequences, exactly.
And speaking of, pushing boundaries and learning from issues, Japan's space. They're planning a 2027 lunar mission.
Building on experience.
Clearly learning from their previous altimeter failure during that moon landing attempt.
And this really showcases the resilience, doesn't it? The iterative nature of space exploration. Every setback, like that altimeter failure, becomes a crucial learning opportunity.
It directly informs the next design.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a powerful testament to Japan's unwavering commitment to advancing lunar exploration. It shows that real progress in space often comes from, well, analyzing failures and adapting, pushing humanity further out.
Okay, back down to Earth. A U.S. AI startup is enhancing cybersecurity for hospitals,
Aiming to significantly reduce data breaches.
which seems incredibly important.
Oh, it is. The vulnerability of healthcare data is a persistent and frankly growing concern, both for individuals and the entire healthcare system.
So using AI here.
Leveraging AI to bolster cybersecurity in hospitals is a critical step, not just in protecting sensitive patient info from, malicious actors.
But also maintaining trust.
Exactly. Maintaining trust in our increasingly digitized healthcare systems. It's really about securing a fundamental human right in this digital age.
And for anyone who's ever been stuck in traffic, this next one sounds pretty good.
Singapore.
Yes. Singapore's smart traffic systems have apparently cut urban congestion by 20%.
20%. That's a truly tangible example of how smart city tech can dramatically improve quality of life.
How does it actually work?
Well, by using data-driven urban planning, integrating sensors, real-time analytics, intelligent signal timing. Cities can genuinely reduce commute times, lower emissions, boost productivity.
Imagine that scaled up globally.
Right. The collective sigh of relief for millions of commuters. It fundamentally changes daily urban living.
Okay, over to India now. The RBI, the Reserve Bank of India, extended the calm money market operating hours.
This 7 p.m., aimed at easing bank liquidity.
This might sound a bit technical.
It does, but it has a significant impact on financial stability.
Explain that a bit.
Okay, so by extending these hours, the RBI is giving banks more flexibility to borrow and lend overnight funds. That's critical for meeting their daily reserve requirements.
So it prevents sudden shortages.
Yeah, exactly. It prevents those sudden liquidity crunches right at market close, ensuring the smooth functioning of the entire banking system. And by extension, the broader economy. It's a small tweak, but important.
And looking at consumer trends, Germany's retail growth continues.
And notably driven by sustainable consumer goods.
That seems to be a growing pattern.
It's a very clear indicator of evolving consumer values. It highlights this growing global preference for environmentally conscious products.
Which is now actively influencing manufacturing.
And retail strategies, definitely. Worldwide, businesses are recognizing that sustainability isn't just some niche market anymore. It's a powerful driver of purchasing decisions.
And maybe a key to future growth.
I think so, yes.
Okay, let's turn now to environmental challenges, some impactful human stories, and a bit of cultural vibrancy. First, some devastating news from India.
The floods in Himachal Pradesh.
Yes. Heavy monsoon rains, cloud bursts, triggering flash floods and landslides. 3 people killed, sadly, and more rain forecast until July 1st.
And Rajasthan also bracing for heavy rains, flood warnings issued there too.
It's just tragic.
It really is. And this underscores the increasing frequency, the intensity of these extreme weather events, particularly in vulnerable regions like the Himalayas, which are so susceptible to monsoonal impacts.
It just stresses the urgent need for
Robust disaster preparedness, absolutely. Early warning systems, long-term climate adaptation strategies. It's crucial to protect communities and infrastructure from these incredibly powerful natural forces.
But on a more positive environmental note, South Africa's green energy investments hit $3 billion.
Creating 10,000 jobs, which is fantastic.
And Brazil's Amazon conservation efforts apparently cut deforestation by 12%.
Both really powerful examples. They show how environmental initiatives aren't just about conservation and isolation.
They're also about economic development.
And creating tangible job opportunities, yes. South Africa's investment shows a clear pathway for green growth. And Brazil's progress in the Amazon demonstrates that targeted conservation efforts, when they're sustained, can yield measurable, positive ecological outcomes.
So it proves you can address climate change and foster economic prosperity.
It shows it's possible, yes.
Yeah.
They can go hand in hand.
Okay, and here's where we see the truly, well, profound impact of individual dedication. Ingenuity.
The grassroots stories.
Exactly. We're seeing a Kenyan teacher's mobile library reaching 8,000 rural students, and Indian engineers' low-cost solar dryer boosting farmer incomes in Gujarat.
A Brazilian nurse's health clinic serving 5,000 in remote Amazon villages.
And a U.S. scientist's water purification system aiding flood-hit communities.
You see, these are not just isolated feel-good stories. They are powerful microcosms of grassroots innovation tackling fundamental human needs.
Education, sustainable livelihoods.
Healthcare access, disaster relief. These individuals demonstrate how local solutions, often developed with pretty limited resources, can have immense community-level impacts.
Providing vital services.
And inspiring progress far beyond their immediate reach. It's truly remarkable.
Okay, and quickly, just a few highlights from sports and culture that caught attention today.
Go on.
Rishabh Pant climbed to 7th in the ICC Test batter rankings after scoring twin centuries against England in Leeds.
Impressive.
Nigeria's film industry, Nollywood, shown at a Lagos festival, drawing global attention. Japan's manga exports grew 15%, apparently fueled by digital platforms.
Digital shift again.
And a London exhibit on sustainable art gained international praise.
You know, these diverse snapshots, they really demonstrate the global reach and influence of cultural and athletic achievements.
Connecting people across borders.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And highlighting shifts in creative consumption like that digital boom in manga while showcasing national pride through sporting prowess and artistic innovation. They remind us of that vibrant human spirit flourishing everywhere.
So wrapping this up, what does this all mean for you, listening? From those strategic shifts on the geopolitical chessboard, the ripples in global economies,
to the quiet but profound breakthroughs in technology.
And those powerful human stories of resilience and innovation, it's been quite the deep dive into today's news, hasn't it?
It really has.
We've journeyed from international summits right down to individual community efforts, trying to reveal that vast, interconnected tapestry of what's happening in our world.
And when we connect these seemingly disparate threads, what truly stands out, I think, is the constant interplay between these huge global forces and deeply localized impacts.
Every headline contributes.
Big or small, exactly. It contributes to the evolving narrative of our world, shaping our collective future, which, prompts an important question for you listening.
Go on.
How do these daily headlines, when you view them through this deep dive lens we've tried to provide, how does that change your understanding of the world you inhabit, the challenges, and the opportunities we collectively face?
Something to mull over as you navigate the rest of your day. We really hope this deep dive has given you a valuable shortcut to being well-informed.
With those surprising facts, maybe.
And those nuggets of insight that hopefully stick with you. Until next time, stay curious.
And keep digging deeper.